If you want to become a success, you need to adopt the culture of mini-me. Hello again, everyone. I'm Eli's dad with Project Eli, where we educate, we lead, and we inspire. And you know, I've been doing some reading and doing some pontificating about some of the things that make someone a successful person. And one of the things that just sort of struck me completely was, if you want to be a success, one of the things that you have to do is to minimize everything you're doing. Let's get right to it, okay? First thing we want to talk about is minimize people. Now, what do we mean by minimize people? The only thing that you cannot get back is your time. So who are you spending your time with? Have you given any thought? Have you created any sort of a strategy in your own mind about the people with whom you're going to hang around with? It's a critical thing to do, because you get influenced by those people, and you want to spend the bulk of your time with people that are going to help you take the next step. You know, if you look around and you're the smartest person in the room, you need to change rooms, unless you're a school teacher. All right? You need to change rooms, because if you want to grow, and life is about growth. Life is about expanding your horizons. It's about being able to do more things and to do them in a more qualitative way. If you want to do that, then you've got to cut, addition by subtraction. Less is more. And you need to take a look around you and see if the people and the circumstances that they create are helping you to go to where you need to go. That's the first thing. Second thing is, you need to have, when you set your goals, you don't want to have 800 different goals. You want to have a small number of goals. One is ideal, but not realistic. So you want to have goals. I like to divide them up on the personal side, the business side, and the spiritual side of the balance sheet. And I have, on each side, I have goal number 1 and then goal number 1A. But I don't want to go any further than that. Goal number 1 and goal number 1A. As far as people are concerned, think about it when you're, like when I was in college, or when you're, a young man or a young lady, you're in your 20s. One of the things that you're thinking about is, boy, I'm dating a lot of different people right now. And then, guess what? That gets old after a while. And you say to yourself, is that what I really want? Do I really want to be, Mr. Big Shot? Do I want to be, Mr. Guy, Mr. Ladies Man? Or do I want something of substance? Do I want something of substance? And when you say that you want something of substance, that means you want one person to be the person in your life. And you want to dedicate your time, your efforts on the personal side of the balance sheet to that one individual person. What happens is that you'll find that your life becomes much more fulfilling. And when you get married, you start to think about a wife, a spouse, depending upon your gender, and then children, and they become your life on the personal side of the balance sheet. And that's a good thing. That's a worthwhile thing. That's a virtuous thing, as opposed to continuously going out and playing the field and seeing how many of this and how many of that. That used to be a great thing when we were younger, counting, how many hash marks you had. But you know what? When you get older, that becomes so less important. It's ridiculous. And on the also on that side of the balance sheet, you have to figure out the time that you're going to spend with people. Like I said, I've said before in this channel, I have one person that is, more than one, but one specifically that was very, very good to me when I was in a challenging time. And he helped me out quite a bit. And right now he's having all sorts of different challenges for himself, and we speak every weekend, and it's like the worst either 3 minutes or 20 minutes that I spend every weekend, because I have a loyalty to him for things that he's done in the past, but at the same time I don't want to be poisoned with that negativity. And that happens, you know, this happened and that happened, and it's the same old, same old. He's running into the same problem, and I say to him, you know, why don't you do this? And he goes, well, no, I'm not going to do that. And then he runs in and he has the same thing. It's deja vu all over again as far as problems are concerned. You need to minimize that type of contact, which I have done. I have that one period of time where I say, okay, I make it a positive. I said, I'm going to listen to him. I'm going to be some ears. I'm going to give him a chance to vent. And that's what I do. And I make it positive for him. But it's really not all that positive for me. But sometimes you have to make that sacrifice for people that are worthy. But what you want to do, once again, is minimize those types of contacts. That doesn't work in your favor. Next thing is you want to minimize your space. Now, as I get more seasoned, let's say, one of the things, you know, I used to live in a really huge house, and you know, it just takes up so much time. There's the, you know, the cleaning and the upkeep and all of that stuff. It just takes up so much of your time, and it's so much easier when you get older, Eli, you start to think about, you know, I don't really want to be committed to cleaning up that large an area of space. And so you get a smaller area that you can control, that's easy to clean, that's easy to maintain. And the same thing works on the business side of the balance sheet. One of the things that people try and do is they try and become, you know, Michael Jordan. They have a basketball, they learn to dribble, and now they want to become Michael Jordan. First thing, or LeBron James or Steph Curry, whoever you want to use in that scenario. My point is, it's smarter to become a big fish in a small pond first. The way you become a big fish in a big pond is you have to be a big fish in a small pond first. So focus on that. Once again, minimize the people that you're with. Minimize the space, the orbit that you're in. You can expand it later, but start with something small. Start with something where you can become a big fish in a small pond, gain that confidence, and then go from there. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't have the dream of dreaming big. You want to dream big all the time. But one of your first steps, you know, towards achieving being a big fish in a big pond is being a big fish in a small pond first. Get some experience. Learn what it's like to lead in a small pond. Then it's easier to lead in a big pond. If you haven't had that experience, you know, if you go from Bing to Bing, it's very, very difficult. And it just makes so much more sense as far as your growth is concerned. Once again, it's like learning to, you know, do you learn to run before you learn to walk? No. And that's what it's like on the business side of the balance sheet. So master something manageable to start with, and then expand. Once again, don't let that interfere with your dreams. Dream big. Always dream big. But as you chunk it down into its smallest components, make that one of your components to be a big fish in a small pond. And then the other thing I want to talk about is minimizing stuff. Minimizing stuff. You know, if you have, so many people have so much different things that they own. You know, the way I think about it is, you know, if you're going on an airplane and you're going to travel someplace for a week or 2 weeks, you know, then you have the packing of what you have to do. I'm going to pack this, I'm going to pack that. Well, I won't probably need that. And you think about each individual item, you know, for your wardrobe, for your shoes, for your cosmetics, for all the different things that you're going to need on that particular trip. And what it does is it allows you to shorten what it is that you need, to minimize what it is you need, Because you've given it some thought. What you're doing is you're pre-planning what it is that you're going to need. So carry that over to the business side of the balance sheet. Minimize what stuff you're going to need in order to achieve the next level. You know, it's good to think big, but once again, be practical, be realistic. This is what I need for this. And then restart. Get a new starting line. And when you get the new starting line, what do I need now? Do it one small step at a time. Minimize your stuff. And it works on all the different sides of the balance sheet, the personal side, the spiritual side, and the business side. Minimize that stuff. So essentially, my message here is to become a success, to take those steps, okay? And it's a staircase. It's a staircase. It's not an elevator. It's not you press the button and you go right to the penthouse. You're going to be walking up the stairs and you're going to be doing it one step at a time. Keep that in mind. You want to become a mini-me. A mini-me. And find a mentor. Have that mentor, and the mentor, if they're worth their salt, will do it this way. Have you work one small step at a time and advance one small step at a time. And as you're making progress going up that staircase, you are going to inspire yourself. So it's like a full circle. Each piece sort of regenerates the next piece. It just goes around and around and around as you're growing inside your skin. And remember, when you're doing this, always don't ration the passion, fashion the passion. I'm Mini Eli's dad.